Come with me today to check out this amazing resale home in Oviedo, Florida, which is just east of Orlando. Well, I guess northeast. We're looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, just under 1,200 square feet in an amazing school district. Everything's amazing about Oviedo. They built a brand new Publix just minutes down the street, and they're putting a brand new McDonald's right down there as well. And Oviedo has everything you need. Let's check it out. This property that we're checking out today has no CDD, very low HOA, and we'll talk about the price of the home at the end. But if you want, try to guess the price of the home. We're sitting at 1,210 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We're in Oviedo, Florida. Let's see how close your guesses are. And if this is your first time watching a video of mine, my name is Jodeni Ogando. I'm a Central Florida realtor and mortgage broker account executive. So I could help you with the financing part of buying a home as well as with the paperwork of the real estate side of buying a home. I've been doing it for 5 to 6 years now, sold hundreds of homes all over Florida. And on this channel, we explore all things real estate throughout Central Florida as well as Florida as a whole. So today we're in Seminole County, we're checking out Oviedo. We were in Volusia County recently, in Polk, Osceola, Marion County, Ocala. So we go all over the place to explore new construction, resale homes, investment properties. So if any of that sounds beneficial to what you're looking for, consider subscribing to the channel. Drop a like on this video. Let me know where you're watching from. Also, drop a comment. Let me know where you would like future videos to be. If you need me to go to Miami, I'll go down there. If you need me to go to Jacksonville, I've done it. Gainesville, I'll go wherever. And then I'll take the family with me, of course. We'll make it a little getaway, and I'll get some video content for you as well. Let's check out this resale home in Oviedo, Florida, and let me know what you think. This is the front of the house here, and the way that the house faces is east, in case that's important for you when you're looking for a home. Now, I actually live in East Orlando, so I live probably 11 minutes from here, so I love this area. And something I love about the homes in Oviedo, even though they're a little bit older, is they still have this beautiful curb appeal, and they're not so cookie cutter. Let's take a look at how this one looks in the front. Let me know what you think. When you first walk into your property, you're gonna have super high ceilings. There's a ceiling fan here, nice little chandelier here. You have the living room here. The backyard's right through there. On my right, you're gonna have access to the kitchen, the 2-car garage, nice sized pantry. On the left, you're gonna have 2 bedrooms with a bathroom there. And on the right, you're gonna have your master suite, which is separated from the other 2 rooms, which if you watch any of my videos, that you know I'm big on that. You can have your privacy on that side of the house while everyone's on the other side of the house. And then right over here, you have this massive wall where you could probably mount a nice sized TV, which it actually looks like that's what they did here. They had a TV mounted. So as you can see here, you could probably fit a very nice sized TV here, and they have some cables here as well if you need some connections. So I would say it's a pre-wired. So then on this side, we have our little dining area right here, right under this chandelier, where it's kind of low, but I'm assuming you put the table here, no one's gonna be walking into it. And then you have your beautiful kitchen. I'm actually a very big fan of smaller kitchens. It's a lot less mess to clean, a lot less space for dishes to stack up and stuff. And you know, I think it's a very nice kitchen with some good finishes, nice colors as well. And you get the stainless steel appliances. So you have everything stainless steel here. So on this side of the house, when you walk in and make a left, we're gonna have your 2 bedrooms here, and you're gonna have 1 full bathroom right behind me. On the other side, we have your primary, and it has an amazing walk-in closet with some custom shelves. Can't wait for you to see it. And now let's check out the backyard. You have these massive glass doors, sliding doors here that give you access to your covered lanai. It's pretty peaceful back here, and it has a little cute doggy door. So if you have a cute little doggy or a cat or any small animal, maybe a small raccoon, you can fit through that little door right there. And then when you step outside of your screened-in lanai, you have this beautiful, peaceful backyard. Beautiful colors. You got the green, you got the red mulch, and you're fenced in all around, so you have that privacy as well. What do you guys think about this backyard? I wanted to capture the other angle as well. It's a nice sized backyard, fenced in, beautiful landscaping back here. Nice big beautiful trees as well. I like it. So where we're located in Oviedo, Florida, we're minutes away from Orlando, so probably 5-10 minutes down the street from Orlando. The airport is probably 30 minutes or less away. Universal Studios about 30 minutes away. Disney's probably 45 minutes away. So I would say we're pretty centrally located. We're actually in between 2 different Targets. I think the one in Waterford Lakes and the one in Oviedo is not too far. 2 movie theaters not too far from here. Multiple Publixes. The Chick-fil-A's down the street. There's a Spectrum store, Ross. There's Marshall's. There's Sprouts. So, you know, if you know the Oviedo area, then you know what I'm talking about. You got everything in this area. You may not even have to leave this city because you got everything around here. There's also a pretty good pizzeria called Flipper's Pizzeria right down the street. Haven't had them in a while. I'll probably have them today. But we're in Oviedo, Florida. Now, a lot of the families that find me on YouTube for help with their search are usually looking up new construction homes. So we're doing this thing now where we're trying to do some resale homes as well, videos of those, in case you're interested in buying a resale home. The tricky part is that depending on when the videos launch, the homes can be under contract already. So I have access to more properties in the area. So if you were ever to call me or text me or email me about what you're looking for, I'm able to put a list together with your criteria of all the properties. What's also interesting is if there's new construction in the area, some of the best deals that we've seen are on new construction, where we can probably get you closing cost incentives or all sorts of rate buy downs. But for this particular home, there's an even better deal. We have access to down payment assistance from Florida Hometown Heroes, depending if you qualify. So what's interesting is instead of having to go to brand new construction and waiting for some time for those homes to be built, or having to deal with some of the issues when the homes settle, you can get into a home that's already, been tested for years. You still have to get a home inspection, but you're gonna have a home here, a good quality home, and you might even get some down payment assistance as well with some Florida Hometown Heroes program if you qualify, which actually came back in July with a $100 million budget. That program allows you to get up to 5% of the purchase price, max $35,000 towards your down payment and closing costs as a second 0% mortgage. So you'll have an interest rate on your first mortgage and there'll be a 0% on the second mortgage, up to 5% to help you buy a property. For those of you who are new to buying a home, so the home buying process is actually pretty scary. It's a roller coaster, and it can actually go really fast or really slow depending on who you work with. But essentially, one of the first steps is reaching out to me so we can have a consultation to figure out what your goals are and to see if what your expectations are in line with the market where you're looking. Oftentimes, you'll have people say, oh, I only want to pay this much, but it won't, be enough to cover what the average price point is in the city that they're looking. So we have to expand the search into the outskirts. So after we have that first conversation and we have a clear understanding of what the goal is and where it's realistic to buy a property in that price point or with the finishes or whatever things that you need, then we move on to the financing. If you have your own lender, we can work with your lender. If you haven't had a lender help you yet, we have lenders as well. I'm also a mortgage account executive where with one credit pool, I can shop up to 49 different lenders. We use a handful of them over and over again, like a good 3 to 4 of them. But if we have to go further out, we have more lenders in our network as well. And what's awesome is you'll have a dedicated loan officer that will oversee everything while we're helping with the real estate side of it. Oftentimes it's either me or one of my team members helping on the real estate side, or me and one of my loan officers helping on the mortgage side, while I oversee everything to make sure you have a pleasant experience and you can refer your friends and family to me. So we have the consultation and then we do the financing. Now it's time to put a property search together. You're looking on your own on Zillow, Realtor.com. I'm sending you properties from my website, from the MLS system, and we're coming together at some point to see some of those properties. There's no specific timeline of how fast you can get a property. It takes time. Sometimes you don't find that right property right away. Sometimes it takes weeks, days, years, but sometimes it takes hours. I've had one client where I met one time, sent them 3 properties, and the next day we were under contract. But every scenario is different. So we go from consultation to discussing financing needs if needed, or if it's cash, you just have to have your proof of funds ready. We have the property list going out. Then we negotiate an offer. As far as negotiating the offer, there's different terms that you want to negotiate, like appraisal contingencies. There's different things that we could do to make our offer stand out, escalation addendums, different tactics that we've learned over the years in selling hundreds of homes. After we negotiated the offer, you're going to get into escrow and you're going to wire the title company the initial deposit. You don't send me any money. You don't send the seller's agent any money. It goes through a third party to a title company. They facilitate all the moving pieces of the closing, and they're the ones that are going to handle the money. Once you're in escrow, we have to order your home inspection. Home inspectors are going to send you this terrifying report that's like 50 to 100 pages long. Even on new construction homes, we just closed on a new construction home, there were so many findings. Like there was like issues left and right. So you're never gonna get a perfect home. If that was your goal, just stop watching right now and just go to sleep, and you'll probably find that in La La Land in your dreams, because there is no perfect home. These homes are gonna have so many findings because they're built by humans, and humans make mistakes. But what's important is if there's warranties on them, if you negotiate repairs, or if you negotiate a home warranty as well, if it's not a brand new construction. So the main 4 parts that we want to focus on when we're getting that home inspection report. A lot of the cosmetic stuff, I understand. We just have to put that aside for a moment. And we have to worry about the roof. We have to make sure there's enough life left on the roof. We have to worry about the plumbing, the HVAC, and the electrical as well. Those are the 4 main points when you're buying a property that the insurance company is gonna care about. They're not gonna care so much about the cosmetics. After we get the home inspection done, we move on to the appraisal. What the appraiser's job is, they have to determine the value of the property to keep you safe and make sure you're not overpaying. So while the inspector was making sure the property was in great condition or habitable condition, let's use those words, the appraiser is making sure the property is worth what you're buying it for. In the background, in the meantime, title companies running title searches and all types of other things, and we're helping you get insurance quotes from homeowners insurance brokers that we're partnered with. And then we all get together a few days before closing to issue what's called the clear to close, from the lender to the title, and then everything's getting rebalanced, and they're talking about these will be the final figures due at closing. The day before, we also have to go see the property again through a final walkthrough, just to make sure that there's no broken windows, no additional holes in the wall, nothing missing. And when you're happy with the final walkthrough, we head to closing the following day, or later in the day, we're doing the walkthrough before closing. That whole process happens fast. We've had it happen in 3 weeks. We've had it happen in 3 months, but the average is about 4 to 6 weeks. That's how long it might take for you to buy a property if your ducks are all lined up in a row already. This community is pretty awesome because when I was driving by, you have a tennis court there and you have access to a pool. The taxes on this property are listed at $3,425 for the year, where the HOA is $550 for the year. So you pay once a year, so that pretty much equates to like $45, $46 a month for the HOA. Property taxes are a very complicated subject. When you're buying a home, never go by the property taxes that you see in the system, because that is usually from when the property was last reassessed. And trust me, once you buy that home and that property's value goes up, you're gonna be super happy that your equity is there and everything, but you're gonna be shocked a little bit when you see, oh, but now the taxes are higher. And that happens a lot. I've heard a lot of horror stories where someone's buying a home and a year later the taxes went all the way up. It wasn't that they went all the way up, they just got adjusted after the reassessment happened for what the current last sale price of the property was, or the assessed value of it. Again, I'm not an expert on taxes. You'd have to reach out to the tax collector. So what I always tell my clients during their due diligence period, or even before, they put an offer, just call the tax collector, Seminole County tax collector, go on Google, give them the address, say, hey, I'm possibly buying this house for this possible price. What can you tell me about the property taxes? Another thing is, if you're buying it for primary residence, you should file for the homestead exemption, which they'll give you more details on that. So will the title company, so will the lender, but it will protect your property in case something goes wrong. And you also get a small tax break when your property is your homestead property. We were talking about home inspections earlier and the 4 main points. And I wanted to go over also some important things to know about life expectancy with some of these items. See, you can't buy a house and expect the seller to go and replace everything for you. They're not gonna do that. If it ain't broke, they're not gonna fix it. But what we try to protect you from is having to dish out any crazy amounts of money in the first 3 to 5 years of ownership. So the home inspection is very, very important. So, as far as like what the life expectancy should be for some of these items, and again, this varies on weather, on the temperature, on storms, and overall maintenance of these things. A roof, like a standard shingle roof, 12 to 15 years. If you get like a metal roof, you got 60 years. So a roof can be 12 to 60 years, depending on what type of roof they go with. Most homes are gonna have the standard shingle roof. People are gonna save the most amount of money going with that. That'll be 12 to 15 years. The inspection is gonna tell you how much life might be left on it based on their analysis. And what's gonna happen is they might even do a wind mitigation report to see if they can get you additional discounts. That has to do with like how the roof was tied down. I'm no expert at that, but I have inspectors if you need to talk to them. So if it has like a year or 2 left of life, even if the roof looks amazing, and the insurance companies may not want to insure that, that's gonna be a dead deal, because if you can't get insurance, you might not be able to get a mortgage. And if you have to shop for like private insurance, I think that's like 2 or 3 times the rate versus like what the normal rates would be. Roofs, 12 to 60 years. AC is gonna be 10 to 15. So your HVAC, 10 to 15 years, depending on how you maintain them. We had one that the HVAC was like 29 years old, but it still worked because the owner kept the maintenance up every year, replaced parts and everything. It was amazing. It was colder than some of the new ones that I've experienced. Water heater. So with the water heater, you're gonna be 5 to 15 years old. It's very important because you need hot water. So 5 to 15 years there. Well pump and septic. So if you have septic, sewer, you're gonna have 5 to 10 years. So when you're buying a house, septic or public, those are the two types of sewage you can have. With like mobile homes and manufactured homes, septic is really common. I've seen it with single family homes as well. Not that much, but it depends where you're buying it. Because like out in Ocala, a lot of those homes are like on well and septic. Like in the city, in the Orlando city and Oviedo and all that, I've seen a lot of public sewer. As far as well goes, the well pump is good for about 10 years. So you want to get like a septic inspection if you have a septic home, and a well inspection as well. See if the well pump is good. And then as far as appliances go, 5 to 12 years for a dishwasher. Our dryer is 10 to 25 years. Garbage disposal, 5 to 12 years. Oven is 15 to 20. Washing machine is 5 to 15 years. Those are like average life expectancies for those appliances. If you guessed $385,000 as the purchase price, then you were right. Ding, ding, ding. We're just under $400,000. That's amazing, because when I ran some of the comps in the area, some of them were well over $400,000. So for you to get the opportunity to get this vacant home, move-in ready, just under $400,000 in the beautiful city of Oviedo, I think it's a really good deal. Now, when you're buying a home, if it's your first time buying a property, you want to factor in down payment and closing costs if you don't already know this. So with down payment and closing costs, if you were going with a typical, let's say, FHA loan, you want to factor in about 3.5% down, and with closing costs, 3 to 5%. So let's just say 7% total. So if we took a 385 price point times 7.5%, we'd be close to $29,000, $30,000. And what happens is, if the seller is motivated, we can ask them if they can help with the closing costs, but they won't be able to give you any concessions towards your down payment. But if you need help with your down payment, that's where the down payment assistance programs come in. So for example, out of that $30,000, we can get up to $19,250 through the Hometown Heroes program if you qualify, where we just have to figure out the rest of it. And if we get a seller concession on top of using the program, now we're in a great situation. Some of the strategies that we've done before is, if the property is worth a little bit more than what it's being sold for, you could potentially bump up your purchase price and ask for some of that money back in concessions. For example, you go from 385 to 390, and the appraiser says this is worth like $400,000, we're good. You can finance it at 390. Then you ask for that $5,000 back towards you in closing costs. The seller's still gonna net what they were gonna net even at the lower price, but you'll also benefit from being able to finance that additional $5,000 that you needed. $5,000 over 30 years, you know, I'd rather do that all day than spend $5,000 today. Yeah, put it on a 30-year loan or whatever with like a 6, 7, or 8% interest. So those are some of the strategies that we have. Now, when it comes to buying a home, the numbers, what you get at closing is you get a final settlement statement. And I have one here from a recent closing that we did. And, you know, every time we get to closing, this piece of paper, these 6 pages, always shocks everyone, because they start questioning, like, what's this, what's that, where'd this come from, where's that come from? And you know, no one's trying to sneak in anything until the closing, but I find that when I educate clients up front about what's on there, it's a much more better experience at closing. Like, for example, the realtors and the lenders, everyone gets a copy of this like a day or two before closing. You'd be surprised how many realtors just tell their buyer, hey, we'll see it at closing. Versus me, I'll call them and I'll say, hey, this is the email we got, these are what the numbers are gonna be, any questions? And then we'll figure it out before closing, so there's no surprises at the closing table. This document is broken down into a few categories. So the first one is financial. On the financial category, you're gonna see the sales price, you're gonna see your deposit, any seller concessions, and then if there's a mortgage, how much the bank is gonna loan you. Then you're gonna have prorations and adjustments. They're gonna prorate the county taxes, the homeowner's insurance, HOA fees. Everything's gonna be prorated to the day of closing. On 2 different closing dates, your closing costs it will be different. Your numbers will all be different depending on the day that you close because of the prorations. Then we're gonna have loan charges. So any fees that go to the lender, like underwriting fees, origination fees, appraisal, credit report fees, that's gonna be the next category. We're gonna have impounds, which is gonna be the prepayment of the HOA, and you're gonna have the insurance. So Insurance is also a hot topic. Insurance and taxes both get charged up front for the rest of the year, but then when you get your first mortgage payment, you're gonna be paying it again because now you're paying it for the next following year. And that confuses a lot of people because they're gonna say, well, I just paid it, why am I being charged monthly again? Well, the banks don't want you to be responsible for saving that money up every month for homeowners insurance and for the taxes. So they're gonna hold it for you every month in your mortgage payment, and they'll pay it out when it's due at the end of the year. After that, we're gonna have commissions. So depending on when you watch this video, it is before August 17th, 2024, or after August 17th, 2024, things are about to change throughout the entire country on how commissions are paid. I have a separate video on how we're handling that. If you want that video, just send me a message and we could talk about it. But depending on when you're watching it, what rules will be in effect, commissions are gonna change on how we're gonna basically charge them. Then you have government recording and transfer charges, any mortgage payoff, and then you have miscellaneous fees. That's a breakdown of what that 7.5%-ish would look like in all those different fees. So on a property like this at 385, you'd probably be around close to $30,000. If you stood to the end, thank you for watching. Drop a like on this video. Also, we're gonna have 2 videos here that you can watch as well on this little end screen thing here. Easiest way to contact me is send me a text. I'm always with a different client, so I would hate to miss your call, but I'm getting a lot of phone calls now, and a lot of people don't want to email me, so I guess send me a text, and then I'll call you the moment that I'm available, and we'll put a search together for you, and we'll help you out. And if you need help with financing, we'll help you out with that as well. It's been a pleasure. Let me know where you're watching from, and then I'll see you on the next video. Also, follow me on Instagram, The Real Joe Denny. We do a lot of behind the scenes stuff over there as well, where you get a look at the day in the life of what a real estate agent with 5 kids looks like from New York. So if you're into that as well, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, follow me on Instagram, The Real Joe Denny. All right, peace.